Check 1 2, check. seated. Good evening, and welcome to Mable Barron's 2019 8th grade promotion ceremony. My name is Shane Conklin, and I am very proud to be the principal of Mable Barron School. Thank you to all of the parents, friends, and family for joining us tonight to recognize the accomplishments of this year's promoting 8th graders. We will begin the ceremony with the Pledge of Allegiance. And to lead us in the pledge are Kaylee Koger and Francisco Piseno.
Please rise. Place your right hand over your Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, salute. Please be seated.
Thank you, Kaylee and Francisco. Joining us tonight are some special guests. To your right, our Lincoln Unified School Board President, Jenny Vandepoel. Jenny, thank you for being here tonight. And our Associate Superintendent of Business Services, Rebecca Hall. Thank you very much for keeping this tradition alive. Before you are 52 young ladies and gentlemen who have worked diligently for the past 9 years to reach this point, 8th grade promotion. Later this week, you will be saying goodbye to Mable Barron, and the next time that you attend class, it will be as high school freshmen. I know, crazy to think about. Your journey has been filled with shining memories and accomplishments, as well as with the obstacles and difficulties that middle school presents to everyone. But it has been a journey that you have taken together. Along the way, you have been aided by two very important groups of people. The first group is your teachers and staff. Throughout your time in elementary and middle school, your teachers have been by your side, teaching you the things that you will need to succeed in school and in life, encouraging you to do well and believing in you when you may have doubted yourself. We are extremely fortunate to have exceptional teachers and staff here at Mable Barron, individuals who are dedicated to their students and to the community and who are at the top of their profession. At this time, I would ask that the Mable Barron teachers and staff stand and be recognized. Thank you. The second group of people who have aided you in your journey are your parents and family. This day is undoubtedly filled with a wide range of emotions for you. On one hand, this is a joyous event where you celebrate these children's, young adults, accomplishments and success. They are extremely proud of you, promotees, and all the things that you have accomplished inside and out of the classroom for the past 9 years. For not only have you achieved the academic success required for you to promote with your 8th grade peers, but you have demonstrated an elevated level of responsibility and maturity that comes with becoming a young adult. On the other hand, your parents and family may be thinking, you're growing up, and you're growing up fast. It probably seems like just yesterday that they were sending you off to kindergarten with your pencils and supplies, and you were nervously and excitedly holding their hand and telling them, I love you, as you walked inside a classroom for the first time. Over the next few years, you probably started to notice that they were becoming their own person. They were holding your hand less and less, and you may have realized, yeah, you're not such a little kid anymore. Before you knew it, they were getting older and taller, their homework was getting harder, and they started asking for a phone. And then all of a sudden you blinked, and here we are, and it's 8th grade promotion. And they're right around the corner from being high schoolers. And part of you is probably thinking, where did all of the time go? So, tonight, 8th graders, as your friends and parents and family want to take pictures with you and hug you, and when they cry when they look into your eyes, understand that they are not trying to embarrass you. It's just that although they may be looking at soon-to-be high schoolers, they are remembering the little kindergartner they sent to school 9 years ago. Parents, thank you for all of the time you have spent with your children on spelling tests, math homework, research papers, and science quizzes over the past 9 years. Thank you for all of the hard work and love you have put into helping your child achieve this moment. It would not have been possible without you. Promotees, let's hear it for your parents and families. Okay, but when we get right down to it, tonight is about our 8th graders and the journey that they have taken together to reach this moment. During the past 9 years, the promoting class of 2019 has seen many changes at Mable Barron. For those of you who went to school here, you know that this place doesn't look the same as it did decades ago. It wasn't all that long ago, just a couple years, that the main building went through a major remodel. You may remember, promotees, that back then, if you wanted to get from one side of campus to the other, all you had to do was walk inside that door right there and go through the crossroads, and you'd end up on the other side of campus. And for those of you who don't know what the crossroads were, it was a big corridor exchange where all of the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade classrooms could hear each other. There were no ceilings, so you could hear everything that was going on. So you could be sitting in Miss Byerly's class and hear every single thing that was going on in Miss Maurice's class. Made it very interesting. Also, over the past 9 years, these promoting 8th graders have seen the addition of our new track off to the side behind you and the creation of our own preschool program. Over the years, you have participated in the decades-old traditions of Mable Barron, like chasing the gingerbread man in kindergarten, going on nature walks in 2nd grade, going to Pioneer School in 3rd grade, heading up to Columbia in 4th grade, going to science camp in 6th grade, and finally going to Six Flags to celebrate your accomplishment of becoming promoting 8th graders. During your time at Mable Barron, you have been witnesses to the rise and fall of many trends, including fidget spinners, rolling backpacks, the whip nene, ice bucket challenges, flossing, which I will not do, bottle flipping, and of course, the dab. And you have been witnesses to the creation of many new traditions and advancements at Mable Barron that will endure for years. You painted your names on the 8th grade Walk of Fame. You played in the first 3 annual Lincoln Unified Dodgeball tournaments, the very first mother-son Mable Barron Dodgeball tournament, and the very first Lincoln Unified 3-on-3 basketball tournament. You saw the creation of the Mable Barron Instagram page. You went to the very first father-daughter dance. Your class was the first to turn in your homework on Google Docs instead of writing it out on paper, and you were the very first class at Mable Barron to be assigned your own Chromebook instead of textbooks. You have truly seen some remarkable changes during your time here at Mable Barron, and you have left an indelible mark on our school's history. Which brings us back to tonight. This is the moment you've been striving towards. You made it. You have turned in all of the essays, completed all of the math assignments, and run all of the miles that Mable Barron has asked of you. Now it's your turn to shine. Bask in the moment. But understand that this is not only the closing of a chapter, it is the beginning of a new one. One filled with athletics and clubs and proms, new faces and new experiences and things you've never imagined. High school is a glorious time, maybe the best time of your lives. You have a lot to look forward to, but that can wait until Thursday. Right now, tonight is about you and Mable Barron. It's about celebrating your accomplishments, cherishing the friends you have made, and laughing about memories that you have created during your time here. For the next 4 years, you'll be high schoolers, but for the rest of your lives, you'll be a Mable Barron pioneer. Congratulations, promotees. And now we have 2 students who will deliver some words on behalf of their classmates. First is our student body president, Ethan Roy.
Hello. Hi, my name is Ethan Roy. I'm the student body president of this school. I spent my year here along with my peers accomplishing great things. We've learned from previous council members and improved upon their ideas while adding our own as well. My good friend and classmate, Jadari Benson, came up with an idea for a school mascot, and our leadership committee planned to make that a reality. We weren't able to accomplish that this year, but we set up the idea for our next year's 8th graders to continue. Our biggest accomplishment this year was launching an official Mable Barron Instagram account. Each year it was brought up but turned down. I took the initiative by creating a presentation showing my goals, and I was able to get it approved. We almost have 100 followers on the account right now, and it isn't much now, but I have started a path in the right direction. Next year, I believe Mrs. Lake in the future leadership class will make this thing much bigger than what it is now. This year went by so quickly that I'm now going into high school in a few months. I have matured as a student, peer, and as a person. I will take the knowledge given to me this year and carry it into my high school years. In my 7th grade year, I was a new kid, quiet, and didn't try to stand out, as I was just adjusting to the new environment. This year, I'm the president and definitely am more confident, just like many of us are. I will take the knowledge given to me this year and carry it into my high school years. I don't know what I want to do when I grow up, but I do know I want to accomplish great things. I think this role as president has helped me prepare for life and has shown me it takes hard work and time to accomplish certain tasks. My time at Mable Barron has come to an end, but I believe it's helped me become a better person, and I've always been treated nicely by my peers and staff. Thank you for hearing what I've had to say. I hope it's been a good year for you all.
Great job, Ethan. Our next speaker is Esmeralda De La Torre.
Hello, everyone. My name is Esmeralda. I've been in Mable Barron since kindergarten. Throughout the years, I have had many learning experiences, started making high expectations, and have accomplished my goals during my years in Mable Barron. Learning in school isn't just about the subject. It could be many things that we will need to know later on, like responsibilities. 6th grade was a tough time, especially when I didn't understand, so I didn't care about my grades. Eventually, my parents noticed and took away some of my privileges that I had to earn back when I brought my grades up. I'm very thankful that all my teachers cared for me and didn't want me to have any bad grades. Eventually, I got the hang of maintaining good grades without my mom having the need to take away my stuff. I've also learned that if I were to have a question on an assignment, I can't figure it out on my own. It's important to ask so I won't be confused on a lesson. This process helped me prepare better for a test. As I've developed expectations in middle school, I realized that they needed to be my own. I have had high expectations because all I wanted to do was please my parents by having good grades, and I know most of us have been through that. But through the high expectations I was setting at myself were not only for my parents, they were for me to prove to myself that I can overcome challenges and reach my goals if I put in the effort. I am glad that my school experience in Mable Barron has helped me set high expectations and how to follow through as I begin high school life. Over the years at Mable Barron, my accomplishments were different every year, but I always had one main goal that has stuck with me since kindergarten that I have now accomplished. It's being a good role model and having a good attitude. What's not better to show leadership than for me to join CJSF? For those of you who don't know what CJSF is, it's an abbreviation for California Junior Scholarship Federation. For example, last Friday, the Mable Barron CJSF team and leadership class did community cleanup starting at Marina Market all the way to 7-Eleven. It was an enjoyable time cleaning our community, socializing, and knowing that we were doing good deeds even if it was picking up something disgusting behind a bush, like diapers. Yeah. But in the end, we showed people who were walking and driving by that we were showing leadership, and I'm glad I was a part of that. Thank you, everyone, for all these great memories. Congratulations, class of 2023.
Great job, Esmeralda. Okay, and now we've come to the portion of our program where we are going to bestow some awards on some students. First, the outstanding English language arts students will be presented by language arts teacher, Miss Acevedo.
Thank you, Mr. Conklin. Good evening. My name is Fabiola Acevedo. I am the Mable Barron's language arts teacher. Today I would like to recognize and award a couple of our students who have shown effort and managed to mature through these past 2 years as we work through our 7th and 8th grade units. Writing is by far one of the biggest challenges our students must invest themselves into, as it takes several steps to produce and up to 2 weeks to finally say, my writing piece is complete. Nonetheless, the following 2 students showcased a quality not many others were capable of doing so as often as these 2, resilience. Resilience takes many forms. These students understood it wasn't easy, accepted the challenge, and adapted themselves to make the necessary changes that would turn them into better thinkers and writers. My first recognition goes to a respectful young man whose handwriting has been a challenge to read, but has been slowly accepting the idea that he's a great student. I've seen him working hard on getting organized, turning in assignments on time, and making the extra effort to keep his grade afloat. Those are the qualities that show maturity and responsibility. I have no doubts Mark Malagon will be very successful through his high school years and beyond. Gracias, Mark, por demostrar que la madurez y el respeto es algo que crece al practicarse y al creer en ti mismo, gracias a su familia. This next student is extra special to me. I'm speaking of her today because being bilingual can sometimes be a challenging quality. It can get in the way of our thinking, which is seen through the way we speak and or the way we write. For this student, neither got in the way. She managed to meet every single state mandated criteria, earning high scores that sets her apart from the rest of her class. Estoy extremadamente orgullosa de la señorita Montserrat Náteras por oficialmente cumplir todos los requisitos del Estado y ser oficialmente considerada un estudiante bilingüe. Congratulations. Felicidades a su familia. Oh, one more thing. To my Fatimas, Sanchez and Faria Flores, I'm wearing these.
All right, thank you, Ms. Acevedo. Next, to present the recognitions for outstanding science students is our science teacher, Mr. Boone.
Thank you, Mr. Conklin. My name is Mr. Boone. Some students will say physical science this year was tough, and other students will disagree. This student is one of those students who thought physical science was interesting. He was working hard and applied himself with the routine and rigor I've implemented in class. The Friday quizzes, Tuesday pre-test, review games, and abundance of worksheets. He's also absorbed information relatively easy because his desire to join the field of science. If my memory serves me correctly, he wanted to become a physicist. Over the course of the year, I've seen growth from the first week until the end of the school. This student is no stranger to Lincoln High School because of his dedication for higher learning. By enrolling himself into an early math course at the high school, he has experienced some of the expectation of being at high school. His hard work and determination has earned an A for all 4 quarters, with the highest percentage of 104.3 for 4th quarter. I'm proud to announce the Science Award goes to Kindred Lewis. This other student hasn't experienced a Lincoln High School like Kindred, however, did earn all A's in science each quarter. He has been inquisitive before, during, and even after the test. Just like Kindred, this student also wants to join the field of science. During our last conversation, he wanted to become a radiologist. During his curiosity to know how and why things happen shows great signs of a scientist. I'm proud to announce the other science award goes to Timothy Ocha.
Thank you, Mr. Boone. Now to award the recognitions for outstanding history students, our history teacher, Miss Erickson.
Good evening, everyone. So in 8th grade, we study U.S. history, and in 7th grade, we study world history. And world history is always a challenge. And so the students are always real excited when we come into 8th grade and we only have to study 200 years versus 1,000 years. So this year, I have two ladies winning my award, and it's been real exciting to watch. My first award winner is an extremely engaged young lady in class every day. She's an active participant who would ask questions as well as answering them. She was constantly taking us further. Quite often, she'd even take us on bird walks. Now, generally, in a classroom, a bird walk isn't really a good thing. However, it was always historically based, so we took the bird walk. But it helped us make connections. And what else are we studying the facts for if it isn't to make connections? This young lady would also find out her own answers. If I couldn't give her the answer in class, she'd be looking it up. In the textbook, online, she'd raise her hand a couple minutes later and say, "Hey, Miss Erickson, it's da-da-da-da-da," and I'm like, "Oh, that's great," and we'd make a connection. So my first award goes to Alyssa Bonacourt. My second award goes to a young lady in my second period class. Now, this young lady is extremely cheerful. She always comes in every day with a smile on her face. She was very helpful. And sometimes, my students would be challenged with something and they would just stare at me. And that's always a challenge. You ask them a question and then they just stare at you. And how do you get them to answer back? Well, this young lady, no matter what I would ask her, she would really try. Even if, she was kind of out in right field, but she'd start the conversation, which would open the door and it would allow the other students to feel comfortable to join in, and then we get to the answer instead of me just always giving them the answer. And I really appreciated that. She was always an active participant, an active part of our discussions, and she had a top grade all year long, and I appreciate Fatima Sanchez.
Thank you, Ms. Erickson. Now to award the recognitions for outstanding math students, our math teacher, Mrs. Lake.
Hello, everyone. I first want to thank you for sharing your students with me. It has been a couple of years, hasn't it, guys? We came in with kind of a I don't like math attitude, just kind of this defeatist attitude. And over the course of the past 2 years, we've really changed that to more of a growth mindset. And I'm so proud of every single person up on this stage because, as I told them, math is hard and it takes a lot of work. And I showed them that things like fractions don't go away. And no, you may not use your calculator. However, they were able to conquer it. And over the past year, some of the students on this stage have increased their math scores more than 20 points, which is huge. And I am so proud of all of them. There are two students who stand out. The first one I would like to award had a real struggle in 7th grade. Kind of came in and I said, what are you going to do to raise your grade? She's like, I'm okay with it. And I'm like, you're okay with this? That is not okay with me. And then this year, we kind of set a goal, and she said that by the end of the year, she wanted an A in math. And she took on the role of the class treasurer, and did a lot of money handling for the school. So the first award I would like to give is Naya Orn. The next award I would like to give is a student who came in with his own personal struggles, but math wasn't necessarily one of them. Talking in class was one of them. And over the course of the past 2 years, I've really been pushing him to think outside the answer and to really start thinking about the why and to show the work and to develop a deeper level of thinking. The goal is not just the answer, the goal is mastery. And this student really accomplished that, albeit with a lot of jokes in class. He kept me on my toes, and I really appreciate him. This award goes to Ethan Santa Cruz.
Thank you, Mrs. Lake. Next, to award the recognitions for outstanding physical education students, our PE teacher, Mr. Peck.
Thank you, Mr. Conklin. And you were right about laps on the track. 75 eighth graders times about 4 miles a week times 36 weeks is 10,800 miles cumulatively. That's almost halfway around the world as a group of eighth graders. I think that's commendable. My students earn what I call PACE points. The P stands for participation, the A stands for attitude, S stands for sportsmanship, E stands for effort, and the L stands for leadership. And many times as 7th graders, they do okay with all the parts except the leadership part. But during his 8th grade year, he stepped up, he even ran for an office. So I would like to recognize a student affectionately known as AD, Richard Watkins. My second award goes to a young lady who, again, participates fully, has a great attitude during class, shows excellent sportsmanship, gives her best effort at all times, and also steps up as a leader. Excellent all-around athlete, and I hope she continues through high school to find some sports and activities that she enjoys. My next award goes to Daniela.
Thank you, Mr. Peck. Next, don't go too far, Mr. Peck. Next, Mr. Peck will recognize our members of the California Junior Scholarship Foundation, affectionately known as CJSF. Mr. Peck, welcome back.
Long time no see. So CJSF, the J is junior for junior high. These students can continue in high school at CSF. And just a couple things to consider. CSF is the oldest honor society in California. They have to maintain a 3.5 GPA in their core classes. It's the second oldest academic honor society established after Phi Beta Kappa. CSF recipients not only maintain a high level of academic excellence, but are also active in community and school service. Just as Esme mentioned last Friday, they went on a field trip to take care of some service. CSF members set an example that working hard to obtain good grades and performing community service provides the tools to succeed and to a better world. So in your program, there's an asterisk next to some names, and that means they served both their 7th and 8th grade years. So please come up when I call your name. Alyssa Buonacor. Kindred Lewis. Cole Long. And Timothy Ochoa. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Peck. Next, Ms. Erickson will present the Jonathan Leung Young Humanitarian Award for Civic Excellence. Ms. Erickson.
Jonathan Leung was a student here 20 years ago, Mr. Peck, or so. He was 5th grade. I have to kind of remind myself of the details. He was a young man that was well liked by his peers as well as his staff. He was a helpful young man. One day he was walking home and somebody came along and grabbed his little brother's bike and ran off with it, and he chased after trying to stop this man, and unfortunately he was hit in the crosswalk there at Cumberland and Ben Holt. His family has set up an award here, one that we want to honor the rest of the from these years on, for a young person from our group that we feel exemplify these same characteristics. The Jonathan Leung Award has been awarded annually to a student that showcases hardworking in all subjects, someone that is kind and caring among all social groups, and is respected and looks for self-improvement. The student that the staff and myself chose stands out because of his excellent cooperative behavior. He's on top of all of his assignments and projects. He's willing to help others, even if it means to put his priorities aside for a few minutes. Among staff, he is well respected. He impeccably follows the rules and goes above and beyond to be an exemplary student. His willingness to accept others, regardless of differences, is quite remarkable. He's yet a quiet leader, but actually, he also has quite a sense of humor as well that I have learned this year. He leads by example. This year, our Jonathan Leung Award goes to Sebastian Torres.
Described her were that she is a go-getter, self-motivated, very humble, an athlete. She goes out of her way to help teachers. She works her hardest in every class and perseveres through challenges. And she's a scholar, earning a 3.7 GPA this year. But the word that was used most often, actually with every person that spoke of her, was the word kind. When asked to share her thoughts about this person, her kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Bonilla, got a huge smile on her face and immediately said, "She has such a kind spirit." The thing I remember most about her was that she was the person who would be the friend to anyone who needed an arm put around them. She was kind to others without any prompting from adults. She just did it. Her 2nd grade teacher, Mrs. Clockey, said that she was always very sweet, always on task, that she consistently worked to better herself, and that she was a pleasure to have in class. Her 6th grade teacher, Mrs. Bowling, described her as being a down-to-earth, cool girl who was always actively engaged in class. She is kind to everyone, and her classmates always found her to be very approachable. One of her 8th grade teachers said, "There's nothing specific that makes her so wonderful. It is her embedded sense of character that comes out in everything she does that makes her so unique. And another one commented, she doesn't take a day off. She shows up every single day with her game face on. She embodies everything it means to be a pioneer. Courage, determination, daring, and self-confidence. Her positive attitude and kindness toward others, her dogged determination to better herself each and every day, her strong work ethic, and her strong sense of scholarship are character traits that all pioneers aspire to. And Mable Barron is proud of her achievement and is grateful for the example that she has set for all of us. It is my honor to announce that the recipient of the 2018-19 Mable Barron Principals Award is Esmeralda De La Torre. Okay, congratulations to all of our students. Now, it is the time that we've been waiting for. Let me make sure of this before I jump the gun here. Indeed, now the moment we've all been waiting for. The presentation of the promotional certificates. Let the roll call begin. Emily Allen. Jadari Benson. Devin Brown. Jade Brown. Alyssa Bonacore. Katie Castro. Scarlett Contreras. Belle Crocker. Angelo Cruz. Esmeralda De La Torre. Julian Delgadillo. Zachary Danubilo. Billy Domingo. Fatima Farias Flores. Christian Freeman. Amelia Fuerte. Davlin Gomes. Marco Gomez. Julian Gonzalez. Janet Huerta. Damian Keogh. Kaylee Koger. Angel Lee. Kindred Lewis. Cole Long. Mark Malagon. Riley Matthews. Jordan McCann. Jacob Merrow. Caitlin Meyer. Terrion Miller. Natalie Murillo. Monserrat Nateris Alvarez. Paisley Negretti. Jet Norcross. Timothy Ochoa. Naya Orn. Daniela Padilla. Francisco Pisano. Luis Ramos. Vincent Reyna. Ethan Roy. Fatima Sanchez. Ethan Santa Cruz. Eddie Santiago. Aviana Cerna. Kimura Tokmo. Sebastian Torres. Kylie Villasenor. Richard Watkins. Isaiah Williams. Daisani Young. Let's have one more huge round of applause for all of our promotees. Okay, so we're near the end of our ceremony, but there are a couple announcements I want to make before we break. First things first, right after the ceremony, you're going to congregate out here, take pictures, be with family for a little bit, and then we're going to start the dance a few minutes afterwards. The dance is only for our promoting 8th graders, okay? So only promoting 8th graders will be allowed inside. No student will be allowed to leave the dance unless a parent comes to the door to check them out, okay? So once we're in there, we stay in there until a parent comes to get us. And also, I want to make sure there's a clarification. On the program, it says that the dance ends at 9:30. It actually is at 8:30. Okay, we're going to be in there about 7 to 8:30. So if you could be there about 10 minutes early to pick up your child, that would be fantastic. Okay, so without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the students before you have fulfilled all of the requirements set forth by the Lincoln Unified School District for completion of the 8th grade and are hereby promoted to the 9th grade. It is with great pride that I present to you the Mable Barron class of 2019. Congratulations.